Good morning. Welcome to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. I'm Gary Demas, and really pleased to be with all of you this morning on this Sunday morning, February 9th. And hasn't been too bad of weather here for the winter, has it? Interesting. So today we have a great show. We're going to be talking about new ideas and design from the biggest kitchen bath design show in the world. Is that right, Michelle and Steve?
It is in the country for sure.
The biggest. It is amazing.
All right, let's just call it the biggest in the world.
That sounds perfect.
All right.
Seemed like it.
Yeah, so this morning I have Steve Dempsey with me. Steve, thanks for being here.
Love to be here.
Steve's our sales director. And Michelle.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Michelle Mixter. She is our interior design manager.
I am.
And she manages all 240 of our interior designers.
Or nine.
Or nine. Okay.
Or nine.
All right. So thank you, Michelle, for coming in to the show. So we're going to be talking about the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, which was in Vegas, right?
It was. So back in January, we went to the International Builder Show and the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show and had a great time exploring different booths and new products and seeing what the industry's doing out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Kitchen and Bath Show is amazing.
Yep. So we'll be talking about that today. So thanks for tuning in. If you ever want to reach us, you can email us at info@davefox.com. And if you want to listen to this or any other show that we previously broadcast, you can go to davefoxradio.com. And you can not only listen, but you can also watch on video. So if you want to see Michelle and Steve, they're waving at you right now, you go to davefoxradio.com. Click on the icon for this show, and you can watch the video. So we invite you to do that. So next Friday is Valentine's Day. Well, this coming Friday.
Are you ready?
The 14th. Thank you, Michelle. I'm not exactly totally ready yet.
Might want to make some reservations.
I appreciate the little nudge there because that's very helpful.
You should just cook dinner.
Just cook dinner?
Just cook dinner.
Is that what you're doing for your wife, Steve?
Of course.
Steve has a new kitchen at home with some pretty cool products himself, so I could see you cooking at home.
I have a brand new Dave Fox kitchen.
Can we have a video of that as well, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So sounds like fun. So, Michelle, I'm sure Jeff is all ready. And
Oh, no, we hate Valentine's Day.
You do not.
No, I don't. Any excuse to go out to eat is marvelous in our
Great.
world.
Yep. All right, sounds good. So I wish a happy Valentine's Day to everyone listening this morning. It's coming up this Friday. So last week, if you had a chance to listen, I was talking to Scott Hennick. He's one of our design consultants here at Dave Fox. We're doing the project of the month, which is always fun. This particular project was a very large multi-room project, and we added an elevator to the existing home. And a lot of times placing an elevator in a home can be a challenge, right, Steve? Especially if you're trying to do it in the existing floor plan.
Of course.
Every now and then, maybe 1 out of 10, it'll work, but a lot of times we have to really go to plan B, which was the case on this project. They had to add room onto the back of the home to add the elevator. But very interesting project. So if you want to listen to that, you can go to davefoxradio.com, and there you can listen or watch that show as well. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, which we call KBIZ for short, or the Builders International Builders Show. Yeah, which is by the NAHB, National Association of Home Builders. So they combine these two very large shows together, which really is kind of like
crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was really interesting. The change happened 3, maybe 4 years ago. It used to be that KBIZ and iBiz were two different shows, and there was so much crossover, especially for the people in the remodeling world where we are designers and kitchen bath showrooms and builders. They decided to combine them, and now it's a 4-day show,
bigger.
and that's not even enough time to cover everything.
Yeah.
So much to do,
Yeah.
so much to see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so when you go there, you look at everything and you walk about 100 miles, and at the end of this show, you're completely exhausted.
And then you have to walk over to the other show. Walk that.
Yeah, so we as a company have kind of created a divide and conquer strategy where the design consultants really take over on the builder side of thing, look at new construction, windows, things like that. The interior design department really looks at product. And then this year, 2 of our production staff went and they got really excited about a spray foam truck. So maybe not an interior designer's dream, but they were really excited about a spray foam truck.
Well, the foam could come in designer colors. How do you know?
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be some really sweet customizable
Yes,
colors.
true.
In yellow.
Okay. And yellow. All right. So, and as I mentioned, Michelle, you're the manager of our interior design department.
Yes.
So you've been at Dave Fox for quite a while.
10 years now,
10 years.
plus or minus.
Yeah. Okay. When it gets to be that long, we're not counting pluses and minuses, right?
No.
Yeah.
There's been a lot more pluses.
Yeah. Good. And Steve, you've been here for a long time.
Almost 10 years.
Yep. Okay.
So we're about the same.
Yeah.
About the same time. Of course, now we're both managers.
Right. I cheated
great.
a little bit because I interned with the company for 3 months prior to being hired on. So I maybe have Steve by a few months.
Yep. And that was a good foot in the door, wasn't it?
It sure was.
And we're so glad that everything worked out the way it is and that we have both of you great, talented, creative people here working and enjoying what you're doing and keeping the remodeling business alive here in Columbus, Ohio.
We are trying.
All right. So who wants to just kind of, we've talked just kind of lightly and briefly about KBIS and the International Builders Show, but who wants to give a little more exhaustive overview?
Well, really from what we do, so going to KBIS and IBIS, like Michelle says, we actually take a portion of our design staff, so our DCs who do a lot of the structural work, the additions, things like that, and we go to the show to find innovative product that can work for our additions, work to make the interior designer's job with the products even better. So for example, we'll be looking for innovative doors that can open up spaces that maybe aren't used in Ohio as much, but that's why we go to the show to do that. So we go as a team and we go and we look at the products, which is a lot of walking and there's a lot to see from different windows and doors from the IBIS or International Builders Show side. And then the kitchen and bath side, we're taking that as like, wow, if we use this with this, like trying to think of, all right, well, we can use this shower pan over here with these amazing shower units and put them both together. So we're mentally trying to put these products together and collecting information. And then on top of that, we'll go and our team, we chose 2 days to walk the show and then 1 day to go to classes, and which is a really big part of the show too, where we actually meet with individuals who give more seminars about, different ways to improve in the industry, from, trying to be profitable in this industry, which can be very competitive, to different types of design for bathrooms, kitchens, additions, and things like that, and how to do better customer service, perhaps.
Right.
Different things like that. Same for you, Michelle?
Yeah, I think whereas the design consultants really focus on what's behind the walls, we are really focused on new trends that we're seeing with products that we are specifying, as well as different design trends. In years past, there's been a lot of cabinet companies that have participated in KBIS. It's not an inexpensive venue to showcase your products on. But we find that there is a great deal of inspiration that can be had from these monstrosities of booths that are sometimes the size of a small home.
Yeah. As you guys are talking about the products and all the, going there and discovering new things, I'm thinking back over the 30 plus years that I've been in this industry, and many years ago, before internet age, we were used to bringing new products to the table for clients, things that they weren't aware of, just because of the trade shows we've been in and the industry magazines that we would get. But now, since the internet age, it's like through the year, clients are coming to us with stuff we've never seen, because they find it online. But this is really our chance, because the KBIS is like the first introduction of brand new products, which haven't even been in any magazine.
Touch.
Well, and it's also disappointing, too, because you come out of that show so excited about some of these products, and then you get home to talk to your rep, and they tell you that they're not releasing it till Q3 of the year. So we're really excited about some stuff that will be launched in the future, but we get the first look at it.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is going to be fun. We're going to talk a lot more about design. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show, and I'm Gary Demas with Dave Fox Design Build Remodelers right here in Columbus, and we love doing business in Columbus. Columbus is a great town, right?
I love it here,
Yeah.
especially with all the
Go
clouds.
Jackets.
Clouds
Go
and nice
Jackets.
weather.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you never know what the weather's going to be like here, but that's how we. That's why
Right,
we
Ohio.
insulate homes really good, whether it's to keep them warm or to keep them cool. And was it you, Michelle, that mentioned in our first segment about the insulation truck?
Oh my gosh, the guys are so excited about this spray foam insulation.
Yeah. Okay, so spray foam insulation has been around for a while, right?
It sure has.
But what's made a big difference here recently is the R value requirements in the building code have just jumped way up.
Of course they have.
So that kind of makes spray foam a lot more interesting because you can get a lot more insulation in a small space.
Right.
And right now, it's really tough to find a guy with a spray foam truck that has time to do your projects.
Well, and where that
Super busy.
and where that matters and what we do in the remodeling industry is if you have an existing home which is 2x4 construction, which I have. When we put on our addition, the addition had to be a 2x6 wall. So consequently, there's this nice little offset in our bedroom wall where we had to change framing. So had we owned the foam truck at that point in time,
You could have foamed it with the 2x4 walls. And
oh my gosh, it would have been awesome.
we'd
The
gotten
spray
your-
foam can be expensive.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Okay. Well, isn't everything?
yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
All right. So let's talk more about the show. So who wants to go first?
So Steve and I, as managers, kind of planned for our teams because we wanted this to be a really educational show for everybody. But also, like with any trip within a company, you want a certain level of team building along with that. So we decided to alternate. The first day we went and did the show floor with our teammates. And then the second day, because our feet were tired, we spent the day in what they call Voice of the Industry. So these are the seminars that Steve mentioned earlier, in which they probably have 150 different seminars over the course of the show that you can pick and choose to go to. Some of it's management track, some of it's marketing, design trends, working with clients, building the business aspect of it. So a wide variety of classes to choose from at the show.
So you and your designers kind of mapped out a plan for which training events you were going to go to?
Yes, exactly. So again, we did a little bit of dividing and conquering and then all regrouped afterwards and all really brought some good takeaways back to each other to share and then consequently brought it back to Columbus to share with the rest of the design department.
Right. So in your meetings, you can have a chance for each of you that went to the show to kind of explain what impacted you,
Exactly.
and kind of spread that info around, and so that way everybody kind of gets a little bit of what you guys experienced.
Yes, exactly.
Great. So how about you, Steve? How did you approach it with your sales team?
Well, about the same way. Our days were long because a lot of walking because we had to see a lot of product on the International Builder Show because it's actually 2 floors. If you've ever been to a convention center, there's 1 floor. Most convention centers, this had 2 floors, and they're both with super high ceilings. It was the most amazing thing if you've ever been there. But to walk up and down the floors to see stuff, but our days were doing that, but then we tried to meet at certain spots along the way because they were doing little trainings with certain products. Like, for example, like Schluter, Schluter's a product for showers. They would show Schluter and how it would be installed or how to use new tools that are out in the field. You know, they had actually some really exciting tools that they had to cut granite on site.
Oh, really?
Cut quartz on site, things like this. It's just really exciting tools and different power tools for the industry, trucks and things. And then, of course, there's the innovative products that we were seeing. One in particular was the whole home laundry vac, which was probably the coolest thing I actually saw.
Explain that.
Now, I know most people are going to get excited about this, and it's actually exactly that. Now, if you had if you ever had a in-house home vac system, it's kind of similar to that, but supersized. Basically, you'd have one unit that would be in, say, a laundry room, either upstairs, downstairs, basement, and basically 6-inch tubes running from, or 5.5-inch tubes running all the way from this unit to every room in the house.
Okay.
Every room.
That's a large tube.
Yes. Now, and like a lot of times you could actually have it sent like up in your attic into a bigger tube, have it shot straight up in the attic, and have pipes go down into each room on a little bit smaller tubes.
Okay.
So there's different ways to do it. What was really amazing is at the wall was just basically a little flap, kind of like when you'd see at the bank teller, the same kind of thing, but basically a hole in the wall where you lift the flap and it would turn it on when you did that, and literally could pick up a towel, a pair of even wet jeans, and throw it.
You did say I was
and
confused.
it was amazing, and it would just suck it right up. You just had to throw it up near it, and it had enough force to pull it right in. You didn't have to stuff it
You
in there.
did say laundry, huh?
It was
Okay, because it's interesting. Because I was thinking vacuum.
I was thinking whole house vacuum,
Yeah.
but you really mean for a laundry room.
yes, whole house laundry for your
so
laundry.
So really, you'd want it in, say, the bedrooms, maybe one in a mud room.
Bedroom, anywhere you could put it. Now, again, this would be a super system to introduce into a new home. And
Yeah.
of course, we saw
Absolutely.
that. But it could solve a lot of issues from the remodeling standpoint as to, hey, the homeowner's got a laundry room in their mudroom downstairs. We'd like to take it upstairs, but hey, this could solve, but that could be a lot of expense. But now I can put all the laundry upstairs and bring it down. I don't have to carry around a bunch of baskets.
And in the remodeling world, where that would be a really interesting solution, is now the traditional laundry chutes that we know and have loved in old homes, they're now fire hazards, and you are not, if you touch them, they have to be eliminated. You can't keep them anymore. But something like this system sounds self-contained and safe.
Yeah, because the laundry door has a flap in the, because I had asked about that, as a laundry door flap up in the, wherever you put it.
Yeah.
So it closes when the laundry's coming, it opens and it comes right out, and then it closes back up. And downstairs, when you're done, you close the thing, so it makes it.
Okay, so then your system that's sucking all these clothes is in the laundry room.
Yep.
And it delivers them onto the floor or in a basket?
Or in a
room?
basket, stuff like that. Or they had it really neatly designed in a, basically they showed a cabinet, but it was completely clear.
Okay.
And it was just super amazing.
Wow.
You know, because I made the joke. I was like, does it separate by color? Everyone, I had a big crowd around, and everyone kind of laughed if it could do that. But these are the kind of innovative products where I wouldn't necessarily say that we would, try and put that in every remodel of that project. But if a client came to me and said, had this problem, I mean, that's basically what we do in the remodeling.
Yeah.
We solve problems.
So the unit itself it seems like it would take a lot of suction to do that. Was it real loud?
No.
No?
And that was the thing. It's like, actually, when you open it up and you put it, it just felt like a little calm breeze. But once you put something in front of it that really kind of takes away, that creates that vacuum, and there it goes.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing.
That sounds very cool.
And I was
Yeah.
like, and I just kept throwing stuff at this thing.
Okay.
Just kept throwing it in. I was like, I need to be more convinced.
Not
and then
you,
I picked up a
Steve.
towel, and I was like, and he's like, now if you get ridiculous with it, yeah, it's going to be, but as long as you can throw it up piece by piece, it'll just keep taking it right
I'm just
out.
imagining from a first floor kitchen to a laundry room. Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
like
every time a dirty towel.
Dirty
Absolutely.
towel, just
Yeah.
Gone.
Or instead of having to move the laundry up by all the bedrooms,
Right.
you put one of these inlets in all the bedrooms and just send it right to wherever
Right.
the laundry's
Oh, when it's clean, and then make the kids fold it in their rooms.
well, I don't know about
Reverse
sending it
system.
back. It's still, the vacuum has to be in each room, but if you want to go to that expense, I guess you could.
Well,
A lot
I'm
of pipes
thinking
in the wall.
that sometimes an upstairs laundry is so convenient because that's where the bedrooms are at.
Yeah.
But if
Correct.
your laundry's downstairs, then you could just send all the clothes down to the laundry.
So
Yep.
cool.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm talking with Michelle and Steve, and they went to the Kitchen and Industry Bath Show, Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, and also the Builder Show. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. And we are back, the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. I'm Gary Demas. Really glad to have everybody tuned in on this February the 9th. And we've got Valentine's Day coming up on Friday, so I'm sure everybody's getting ready for that, and, including me.
I'm cooking.
All right, Steve, you're getting ready? You're cooking.
I'm cooking.
All right,
I'm
that
cooking.
sounds like fun. What are you cooking?
Steak.
Steak?
Steak and shrimp, of course.
Do the boys stay home, or do they go to Grandma and Grandpa's house?
Yeah, they'll be at Grandma and Grandpa's.
So they would go to Grandma and Grandpa's because he's cooking? Is it-
And they'll
Right.
cry because I'm cooking shrimp or steak, and they'll be like,
All right. So we're talking about the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show and the International Builder Show all combined, a great big giant expose of design and of training and new products. So, and Steve, we were talking about that really cool
Laundry vac.
system that sucks clothes into a wall and sends them to the laundry room.
Google it. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. Did they talk about how much this unit costs?
I don't remember offhand, so I couldn't tell you offhand what that mean. But I mean, I think it was about the same kind of price, just a little bit more than a standard home vac system.
Okay.
Scaled up a little bit. So still same kind of basic concept, just
Yeah.
meant for laundry.
Yeah. Sounds really clever. Okay. So, Michelle, from a design point of view, what kind of really cool ideas did you come up with?
Yeah, it was really interesting. This is my 4th show in 9 years. So averages out to about every other year. And every year there's something different. What was really unique about this go around is in past years, I feel as though there have been really, really strong design trends. And oddly enough, I did not look around at all of the booths collectively on the KBIS side and say, man, there's the trend for the whole industry that's setting the standard for the rest of the year. I think your point earlier about the internet being a game changer for our industry, when at my first KBIS, Houzz did not exist. Pinterest did not exist.
Okay.
And so these creative designs were not mass consumer available. And so I think that's made a really big impact on the industry as a whole. But ultimately, I think the big thing that you could say was the universal trend was technology, the introduction and continued development of technology and what the Alexas and the Google Homes of the world are impacting things like faucets and showers and tubs and toilets, lighting, cabinetry to some extent, and in the future, appliances. I mean, the possibilities are really endless with the voice automation was huge for the whole show.
Interesting. Yeah. So manufacturers are, of course, adapting all their products now to the smart home or the voice activated
Yes.
and interconnected. And I mean, there's so much convenience that goes with that because you can do so much right now from your phone
Right.
to your home, no matter where you're at in the world. And that comes in handy, really handy a lot of times.
Yes. And, it's really interesting because as we're talking to these reps and these marketing people at Moen, Kohler, Delta, Brizo, whomever the line is, it's really interesting to see why the technology was developed. And I think that's where our design team gets the most inspiration because they're able to come back and articulate the why behind something. So the faucets that are going to be coming to the market this year, you can say, Google, fill up, give me 2 tablespoons of water. You can hold a cup in front of it and it's going to fill up 2 tablespoons of water. Well, a lot of us consumers out there will say, why on earth do I need my faucet to measure water for me? And for the able-bodied, that's not a problem, really, to go to the drawer, get out a tablespoon, and measure your 2 tablespoons. But imagine if you're visually impaired, or if you're
Lazy.
Yes, or if you're
I like
in a
that one.
You're lazily impaired.
Lazily impaired.
Even small homes. If maybe you don't have every gizmo gadget, you just tell your faucet what you need. If you're in a wheelchair, maybe you don't have easy access to the faucet handle. There's so many reasons why these technologies are coming to the market, and it's not all for convenience. And I think that's a really interesting thing when you think of aging in place and the implications of all of that.
Although us humans are all for convenience, right?
For sure.
Yes, yes. As Gary, we've known each other for a while now, but I move at a fast pace. So I'd rather just do it rather than tell my Google Home to tell my faucet to give me the water. I'm just going to go do it myself.
Yeah. Speaking of that, is the innovation of technology is that, at the show, you could use your iPhone to control your stove, which is now not even there. It's actually built in underneath your quartz or granite countertop. And now with the invention of induction, you can actually not even have a visual cooking space, grill or anything, and cook your food with the pot right on the countertop. And talk about cleaning up, keeping it easy, like literally putting your pot on your countertop, literally on the countertop, and using your phone to heat it up to 250 degrees.
Yes.
And watching it steam sitting on your countertop. And then when you're done, just wiping it off and not
with
even
all
being
the
hot.
cooking you do, you need one of those.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, for me, I look at that, and that's the innovation of design and technology,
Yeah.
where the technology is there, and then as it took a designer to say, hey, this is great induction. Why don't we try this? And then it's, well, now here's a revolution in design and technology for our kitchens, which in some day this could be the new code standard, you know.
Yeah.
It
And
might
it's,
upset you gas people out there, and I am one too.
it's really interesting seeing because that is new technology that has been creeping its way into the show over the last 3 years. And it's interesting to see how it's evolved since its first, very primary introduction, and then seeing the big hitters in the appliance world and seeing what of that technology they've started to integrate. And it hasn't hit mainstream yet, but I wouldn't be surprised within the next 2 to 3 years that they really fine tune that technology. And then you see your big players in the market starting to introduce that technology.
Yeah, so really the big thing is now design and technology, the marriage between the two.
Absolutely.
Because design is always changing and moving, and that's appearance, right? And when we look at a space, the feeling we get when we see that space, is it something very intriguing and stunning to us, or is it drab and not interesting? So design elements are so crucial in just how we feel about the space we're living in. And then when we integrate technology into that, we've got two dynamics now working together. That's interesting. So you saw a lot of that at the show.
A lot of integration. And one of the seminars that I went to was actually about the smart home, and it was from the system is Control 4, and it was one of the lead engineers at Control 4, which is a whole home automation system. And it's also interesting seeing the shift on the dynamics of what our homes are going to be required to have as we introduce more and more technology into them. The mechanical rooms are no longer just something in the basement. You really need to call in a certified professional to make sure that if you're controlling blinds and your electric and your security system and your garage doors and appliances and who knows what, that the infrastructure is there and ready for it.
Yeah. And as these things evolve, when they first start out, they're always ultra expensive. Only a select few, spend the money to get it done. But as time goes by and there's more mass production and there's more engineering and efficiency behind them, then they become more affordable. And I think that's kind of where we're starting to get into that curve, where now the stuff's been on the market long enough and there's enough efficiency in it that it's becoming within reach financially for a lot of people.
That's
Agreed.
right.
Yeah.
One thing at the show when we were there, I always walk around and see if I can run into some. You had talked about the special people that can be there and stuff like that, and there are a lot. Mike Holmes from Holmes on Homes was there. Got to meet him. It was great. Great down to earth people. Met all the casts of. Have you ever watched the Main Cabin Builders? They were there.
Yeah, celebrities are fun.
Yeah.
And let's talk about those in a little bit because everybody loves celebrities. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Gary Demas. Really glad to have everybody tuned in to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show this morning. And I'm sure a lot of you, when I listen to 610 WTVM during the day, I always hear these little promos. Listen to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show, Sunday mornings at 8. So, by golly, all of you guys are doing that. Thank you for listening this morning. So I've got Michelle and Steve with me. Michelle, you're our interior design manager extraordinaire. You've got
morning.
such a great team of designers. And Steve, our sales director, with our great team of design consultants who are kind of sales design, right?
Yeah, they bring projects to life.
They bring projects. They bring them in the door.
That is correct.
When Michelle and her team get her hands on them, they refine the design and work on selections.
It's a great collaborative relationship because if it weren't for Steve telling me what walls I can tear down, it would be a really challenging project for my production team. So,
But you'll tell me to tear down the walls anyway.
well, I do tell you to tear them down anyways, but we figure out a really good collaborative solution. Yeah, there's a good, healthy tension, we call it.
Banter.
That's right. So then when this project gets through both of your departments, then it goes to our production team and they bring it to life.
Literally bang it out. Yeah.
And honestly, they take it up a whole nother notch. What they can do with trim work is incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I love is how both of your teams appreciate our production team so much, because you guys know they're the ones that are actually going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I just love to see you guys interact, both of your teams, with our production team. That's fun. So now, as we're talking about the Kitchen and Bath Show and the International Builders Show, let's talk about some of the new trends, because everybody's interested in trends and where are things going. And I know, Michelle, you mentioned that there didn't seem to be a really clear, this is the way we're going in 2020.
Yes.
But still, there were new products. Steve, you were telling us about the system that moves clothes through the home into the laundry room.
Yes. I think from the big trends that we've already seen surface, because let's be honest, social media hits us in every direction that we look in the world. But ultimately, we're seeing mixed materials. So cabinets are no longer just wood cabinets. There's two different tones. Maybe there's a paint and a stain, but there's also metal integrated into it. So we're seeing a lot of the mixed metals, and we're seeing that also on faucets and plumbing. So there was a toilet seat with a gold banded rim along the toilet seat, just to add that little bit of customization.
How did it look? Do you like it?
You know what? And it was a really sharp look for a powder room and for a specific home.
Okay.
Columbus, Ohio is kind of a tough market. We're on what I'm going to call the second wave of most trends. So trends really start on the coasts and then make their way in. So it'll be a while before we see that here on the market. The toilet was also, I think, $4,000 to $5,000.
Oh, okay.
So it also dictates a different client as well.
Well, you mentioned like in a powder room where a lot of times you want some pizzazz, because that's where the guests, the bathroom that the guests use when they come to your home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest trend across the board is customization. So no longer, because everything is so mainstream and available, everybody wants something that's specific to themselves. So faucets, not available yet, but coming soon. Kohler has these beautiful faucets in which the caps on the handles are actually customizable. So you can do a wood insert, a metal insert, a mahogany, burnished brass, you name it, but you get to make the faucet your own. So some really neat features like that allow designers full creativity to make something unique for the client.
Great. Good. Steve, did you notice any trends that interest you?
Well, I knew that there was one trend that I was looking for, and I was looking for the blue. And everyone's like, the blue. And blue was supposed to be the color for our trends, and I've heard that a lot, and I was looking for it, and I did see it. I did see blue, and it's China blue. And you would think that that's like red. Red was the first thing that popped into my head, but no, it's actually China, like as in your porcelain china, that you'd have the blue with the white. That was the color trend, and I started to see that a lot there after I was explained that. Now, colors and things weren't my top priority as far as trends, but what I did see trending was kind of a lot like what Michelle was saying, customization, or the idea for looking for something different. Personalizing, looking for something a little bit different. You'd see a lot of windows and doors, but I had more people interested at a door area where the door was 20 feet long and 9 feet tall, one solid piece of glass, and everyone wanted to know how it was installed. And you got 20 people standing around, how does this thing work? Because they wanted to see if they could actually implement this a little bit more, because everyone see the accordion doors, but to have one single door move that's 20 feet long really excited a lot of people.
Was it a pivot?
No, it was one single door.
An accordion type then, if folded against itself.
Nope, it's just one solid 20-foot sheet of glass door, $60,000. It was amazing. But again,
What's it slide into?
It actually slides into the wall. It's a pocket door. You have to build the wall and design the wall to actually support it. And it runs on a track system. And it was amazing.
I'm sure it was stunning.
You probably want one of those in your office now.
Yeah, it was something that I was really excited about to see. But the trend was, of course, what you're seeing there is, again, people wanting to customize and make something stand out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And not necessarily for a huge home, for smaller homes too. I, of course, said the 20-foot door, but...
What's interesting, too, with customization, people are scared when they hear the word custom. It doesn't always have to mean expensive. Like you said, Gary, it's personalized. One of the seminars I went to was about luxury clients and personalization of space. And it was a family home. We have tons of big islands. And as a kitchen designer, there are times where I say, oh my gosh, I have to put another cabinet in here. Well, no, I don't. This one, in one design that they showcased, they made it a play fort for the kids. So they left it a void. They put LED lighting underneath there. It was actually a less expensive fix than putting more cabinets in there. And it was a dedicated either dog place for when the kids got older, but it was a play fort for the kids under a giant island.
Yeah.
That's the kind of fun personalization that takes every client and makes them feel like $1 million because you listen to them and can articulate and be creative a way to do it.
Yeah. When I observe this again from a long time span, because I've been in this business forever, it seems like, I know years ago, people would spend extra money on things that were more functional, more sturdy. It's like the custom cabinets had the dovetail drawer fronts, which of course now, because of machining, all of them do. But back then, it was quite an achievement to have dovetail drawers. So people would look at really strong and long-lasting functional things, and they would pay more money for that. It wasn't so much something personalized or the design behind it. It was more the strength and the function and the durability and longevity. But as time has passed now, I think I've never seen in this industry to the degree it is now, the fact that people are customizing for themselves, personalizing, making things unique to them, things that they really like. So it's not so much, we bought this really super heavy duty cabinet because it's going to last 100 years. No, it's we bought this ingenious, stunning piece of design work that is so unique and it just fits our personality right.
Yep, tile was another place where you could just see the infinite possibilities of the customization and personalization. People aren't afraid to put color in tile anymore and make it their own.
Or a 4-foot by 8-foot piece of it.
Or a 4, there's some pretty cool stuff out there.
Yeah, I would not want to be installing that 4-foot.
I was thinking the same thing, but they actually were selling them. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, this has been really fun talking about design and the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show and the International Builders Show, and we're really glad that your teams had a chance to go and to Las Vegas and look at all this stuff. Really appreciate everybody tuning in today. Next week, I'm going to be talking to Steven Zonars. He's with the Dispatch, and we're going to talk all about the Home and Garden Show coming up starting February 22nd, and that show goes for 8 days. I hope you can tune in next week. Thanks for listening in today. You can go to davefoxradio.com and listen or watch previous shows or this show. So, okay, Steve and Michelle, wave goodbye to everybody, and we'll be back here next Sunday morning at 8.